Okay, so we are live now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Jalin Realty, another exciting webinar. I can see that from the attendees, we have about 84 registered, and the numbers is climbing from 20 to 30, now it's 35. Give it a couple more minutes, and maybe we will be waiting for a few more listeners to come in. And by the way, Karolina, how are you over there?
I'm good. I'm just looking at, do I have two profiles here up? One only has my photo and one is just a mystery man, but yes, going well.
Okay. I am sure the mystery man is someone in our office here controlling the whole situation here.
Right.
just in case if we need
in a double.
That's right. Okay. So the numbers are still climbing. We have 39. Ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome. And we are very, very excited to have invited Karolina Niemi. Karolina Niemi is from REA Group, which is the largest real estate platform in Australia. And she's going to share with us today the actual, what's all the data that they've collected during this COVID-19 period, how the market is reacting, how everyone is responding towards properties. And for those who doesn't know REA, just a brief introduction before we start, okay? While we're waiting, just a brief introduction. REA is a publicly listed company in Australia, ASX, and it's the largest property platform in Australia, website in Australia, and a lot of the overseas website, including in Malaysia, Singapore, even in China, as well as in UK and in America. REA actually have a good number of portfolio overseas real estate platform as well. So they are not new to the industry. They have been doing very well for Australia by collecting a lot of good data to share with everyone. So I can see the numbers are climbing up to about 50 group of people now. Karolina, could you actually see from your right-hand side the chat box there?
Yes, it just has a real, hi, Henry says hi. Hi, Henry.
That's right. Okay. So just in case if anyone asks questions, if we, halfway through, if we can help to answer some of their questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we may not be able to answer all the questions. It's only a short half an hour, 45 minutes webinar. But please, leave details and information that you would like to ask, and then we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And today's webinar, they will be broken down into three sessions, guys. Okay. The first session, obviously, I'll pass it to Karolina to explain about the current market in real estate market in Australia. The second session, for those who just starting to get to know us, a quick introduction of Jalin Realty in Melbourne. I know that a lot of our listeners know our offices, overseas offices, but I'd just like to take this opportunity to introduce Jalin Realty in Melbourne. And then I'll go into a little bit more in-depth after Karolina will be explaining to the audiences how do we do CMA, current market analysis, to show you how much the property is worth. Okay, so for those who are interested to, after listening, obviously you can leave a detail. We can do an extensive research for you. With the help of REA, we will be able to get accurate information. And then lastly, the third part is the most exciting part, whereby Karolina will throw us to audience a bonus, okay? A bonus whereby you'll be getting a couple $1,000 free advertising, all right? So without going to any, okay, we have quite a number of 52 groups that have attended. Okay, fantastic. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm very excited and waiting to hear what Karolina has to share with us today about the current market during this COVID-19. So Karolina, over to you. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the introduction as well. Sorry, I'm just going to go to the start of my presentation here. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Karolina Niemi, as Adrian just introduced me, and I'm an account consultant at realestate.com.au. Adrian has asked me to share some audience insights with you today. So I would like to start with sharing some exciting new audience trends that we're seeing on our site. The aim is to show that if you are thinking of selling or buying in Australia, this is actually a good time to change property. A bit of background here, realestate.com.au collects enormous amount of data from our website every single day. We analyse every consumer that comes on our site, and based on their behaviour, we're able to identify whether they're actively looking to buy or sell property. So firstly, what I'm going to do is give you some insights as to what we're seeing prior to COVID-19 and what's happening now as we seem to be on the other side of COVID-19. So let's have a look at this national audience data graph since the start of the year 2020. Visits to our website have continuously increased, and in early March, we saw some audience numbers that we have never seen on our site before. After mid-March, when COVID-19 hit Australia properly, we saw a little dip in audience numbers, but since then, we have continued receiving a large number of visits to our site every day. Another thing to notice here is that the audience gap between Domain and us keeps getting wider, meaning that more and more consumers decide to visit realestate.com.au exclusively. Then I would like to share with you a quick sneak peek of a day at realestate.com.au. So we receive 1.4 million visits every single day to our buy section at realestate.com.au. This is a huge number of consumers coming to look at property every single day. 1.6 million people visit our website each day in total, which includes all the sections, meaning buy section, rent section, sold section, news, and we've got a new section for lifestyle as well. Almost 1 million people jump on realestate.com.au app each day. This is not really a surprising number for anyone, I don't think, given that we have our devices with us every day, wherever we go, and it's just easier to jump on online through our mobiles. As previously mentioned, our audience numbers are continuing to increase, and this slide will show you the year-on-year change in unique audience numbers. March 2020 was a record month with 10.7 million unique visits to realestate.com.au. This is the highest number of unique visits ever recorded on our sites. And when we're comparing March 2019 to March 2020, we are seeing a 23% increase in audience numbers year on year. And the line just keeps going up, which is great. Then we jump on to this slide where there's a couple of sections into this, but what I like to highlight here is that the consumers and agents are adapting very well to the current COVID-19 environment. And this slide has recent into growing consumer engagement, but it also shows the increase in new tools, digital tools that have been created to replace physical and in-person interactions between agents and consumers. As you can see, there has been a 41% increase in buy searches. But what is more important that we're seeing is 58% more inquiries per buy listing. Year on year is this one as well. But the biggest number on this slide is, and what we're reporting is a 501% increase in 3D tours, which is huge, 500% increase. And this is the way that consumers are now inspecting property, and we're really thinking that this way is here to stay. And then I just wanted to quickly just have a look at the most popular suburbs in Victoria. This is from last month, from April, for both buy and rent sections. And it includes split between houses and apartments and units. And just a fun fact, in the rent section, so obviously houses and apartments, the most popular suburb is Richmond, and that is where realestate.com.au headquarters is located as well. This one here is a Victorian supply and demand market as a whole. This report provides an indication of how a market is performing. And generally, a ratio between 40 and 60% implies a healthy balance of demand and supply of properties. A higher ratio implies a seller's market, whereas a lower ratio implies a buyer's market. When the number of new homes sold is higher than those coming on as new listings, the market is described as hot. Listing volumes in Victoria are down by 30% comparing to last year at the same time. But as we discovered in the previous slide, the inquiry for buy property is up by 58%, which indicates now that it's actually a really good time to sell. And given the traffic on our side is up for 41% as well. So we're not in hibernation. We are still operating on property market in Australia and especially in Victoria as this class shows. As also mentioned, if the current new sold to new ratio is high, which here is 69% for Victoria, the market is considered as a seller's market, which is also another good news for you all. That's my presentation for now. If anyone's got any questions, I am happy to take any questions now. Otherwise, I hope that this has been insightful and informative. And if you have any questions going forward, please reach out to Adrian, and Adrian has a direct line to me that he can ask any questions as well.
So, Karolina, thank you very much.
Thank you.
But I do know that the market at the moment, on the ground here, what we are doing every day is that it's definitely short of listings, short of properties on the market. And I do notice that since last weekend, we have open houses being conducted again.
Yeah.
Very good sign. And all our properties have at least 10 to 12 groups of inspection, which was really, really positive.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind me asking, based on your personal experience, what do you think make this demand of properties so high at the moment compared to this time last year?
I think it has just been, there has been a multiple different factors in the past year. First, we had a royal commission, which obviously affected property last year, and we had a bit of a dip. Then also we had bushfires in Australia after we came back from the winter hibernation. So just when we started to see a little bit of increase, bushfires hit, and then we went for Christmas. But this year, so as soon as we came from Christmas break, we saw a massive increase in properties and in traffic on our site, which is really good. So that indicates that the market is actually recovering well. But then obviously we were hit with COVID-19, which is obviously a global pandemic, which has affected every single market in the world. So we don't really have effect on that. But I feel like now, since Easter and since the initial shock of COVID-19, they say, has dissolved a little bit, and now when restrictions are starting to ease up, people who have been looking to buy for a little while already are basically, they have been given a green light. They're like, yeah, let's go, now it's the time to buy. So there's nothing really stopping people from purchasing at the moment, or nothing stopping from people selling, except the consumer confidence. So if I guess that's my main role as well, is to give this type of insights to to real estate agents, but also for consumers who are listening now, is that there is no reason why not to listen to them. The audience is there, prices are up, we're still operating. So if you're thinking of selling, this is the time.
Yep.
It is any other time.
The stats that you showed us early on with the buyer visits per day, it's 1.4 million per day visit from the buyer side. And for the renters, it's 552,000 per day visit onto your site.
Every day.
That's amazing figures.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's fantastic figures. And obviously, I do believe on the ground, as well as what you mentioned, repeating what you mentioned again, elaborating a little bit, I feel that the confidence is coming back. The confidence has always been there since end of last year. And actually starting with COVID, obviously everyone was a bit worried about coming out. But in actual fact, I believe that they do have the financial capability to spend. It's just that it was held back for a couple of months or 1 or 2 months during COVID. And it is definitely coming back. So we can see that the house pricing is still holding very firm. The most affected part of the whole COVID was the rental market in the apartments, actually, because it was we have lack of tourists, we have shortage of students coming in. But today's news, I heard from the news, New South Wales will be opening up to overseas students, and I'm sure Melbourne and Queensland will be following suit after that.
Following as well, yeah, hopefully. We obviously need to still stay a little bit careful. Like, we don't want to go backwards, but I think a healthy hope and healthy confidence is to have them in our back pockets and still keep operating. Obviously with the limits that we are given by the government. So absolutely.
Yes. And the other thing that I noticed from your slides is that you have 501% increase in 3D tour engagement.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It is enormous, isn't it? It's amazing to see how quickly everyone just adapts to the changing environment. And when we all have been homebound and self-isolating and not being able to go and inspect property, except in private inspections, they have been people have been able to do them. But yes, the amount of 3D doors that have been created, but also the amount of people that are watching them, and that is the new way to inspect property. It's actually really exciting from our point of view as well, because it's almost like the future is here.
It becomes a norm now. A normal way of buying properties. So some of our viewers may have come in contact with us in the past. So 3D tour is something that we are doing as well, and some of our owners are adopting it. So it's getting good return and response from the buyers, from the viewers. Okay. So Karolina, thanks again, but stay on with us. Okay, give us a couple of minutes, and what I'll do is that I'll go through a bit of introduction of our company, and then explain how Jalin Realty in Melbourne do a CMA, current market analysis, to help you to understand what's your property is worth. Okay, so and then after that, Karolina going to announce a bonus for 2 lucky listeners. Okay, so I'm going to put on a video, a quick 1.5 minute video introducing our company in Melbourne. For those who are new to us, welcome, and I'll play the video now.
A very good morning to you all, and a very, very warm welcome to the auction sale here at 1 Mackay Walk, right in this secluded part of Doncaster. And assisting me, we have this wonderful team here at Jalin. 60,000 square metres of Crown open parkland in this residence. Let's go. Yes, at 860, 80 good bid, 900 now, sir. Absolutely, you would. $1 million now, good decision. Yes, 60 is good bid. At 60 here, 1.19, good bid. Yeah, 1.2, good luck now. 208, I'll take it at 208. 1.21, good bid. 1.212, you heard it. The property is going, you sure, sir? Out. The property sold, ladies and gentlemen, that's $1,212,000.
Working for Karolina Realty has been a fantastic experience for me. Having offices over Southeast Asia and now building a benchmark in the Melbourne CBD.
I love working in Karolina Realty because the working culture is so different compared to other real estate companies.
Over the years, we came across challenges, but we work all together to overcome that.
At Karolina Realty, we're not only just a workplace, but a family. It's a fantastic place to be.
Okay, so what everyone saw earlier is the happy ending, and I have to explain there's a lot of tear and sweat leading towards the actual day. Okay, so the agents from the background, what we do is actually we do a lot of homework, do a lot of research, we present the property well, and then we do a good show at the end of the day. Okay, so what I'd like to share with everyone is a very quick CMA report so that you understand, because every country is different. Okay, in Australia, everything is very transparent, right? So over here, we will be able to do a very good report that is in detail to show you exactly how much your property is worth in comparison to the current market properties, as well as those that are sold as well. Okay, so introduction page, I have to kind of blank out the owners for privacy purposes. Okay, so what we can produce, ladies and gentlemen, is that whenever you're thinking of selling property, obviously you would need a bit of your material, for example, the floor plan of your property, the address, and so on. Okay, so from then on, what our agents would love to, obviously, is to visit the property. If you have a chance to visit, we'd love to visit the property, because at the end of the day, the presentation, the condition of the property is very, very important as well. Okay, it will be affecting the sales price, but it's okay if it's tenanted and we do not want to interrupt the tenant. That's fine as well. We'll be able to do a curbside appraisal. Okay, with the curbside appraisal, what we do is that we'll be able to have a look at the surrounding area, what's selling, how much it's selling for, and the detailed information it will provide, the car space, number of bedrooms, and so on, how much it's sold for, and it's within half a kilometer radius or 1 kilometer radius from your property. Okay, so if you go into detail, in actual fact, you'll be able to compare the year built, okay, which year it was built. In detail, it will show you which year it was sold, how many days it's on the market for sale. Normally in Australia, it will take about 30 to 45 days to sell through a selling process. As well, it will take about 30 to 45 days to settle. Okay, so altogether, maybe around 90 days, you'll be cashed up, ready to go. Okay, for your next investment. So all this report will give you in detail so that you can go into the market with confidence. Okay, so we will provide two sets of comparison. One set is the sold properties in the last 3 to 6 months. Another set of information is actually current listings on the market. Who are your competitors? You know, how much they're asking for, what are their sizes, which year it was built in comparison to your property. Okay, so with the history sales, with the current sales, then we can come up with an asking price, or if we were to choose the process of selling without a price, we can proceed with that process as well without the asking price. Okay, so we also prepare ourselves well enough to so that when we meet up with the buyers, we'll be able to explain to them the demographic, what age group are living in this area, where they're working, what sort of income bracket, and so on. And we'll be able to also share with the buyers the location, the schools, the facilities, and so on. Okay, so the last few pages, it will also show us the trend in the last 12 months, in the last couple of years as well. Okay, so all this trend will show us, you know, when was the highest peak, when was a bit lower, From my experience, 30 years in real estate, myself in Australia, I don't believe we can pick the best time to sell or the worst time to sell. Okay, the best time, in my opinion, is when you are ready to sell, when you do need the money to invest into better ventures in the future, right? So it's difficult to pinpoint when is the best time because we don't have a crystal ball, all right? So, but it will be good to know the history, how it's traveling, so that it can guide us a bit. Okay, so this is a long-term trend. It shows from the figure here. It might not be clear in this picture, but we can prepare based on your suburb, based on your property, where it heads, so that it will show you all this indication if you're interested to know the value of your property. Okay. So that's pretty much what we can do. At the end, we'll say that roughly gauging the history sales and the current for sale, what sort of appraised price we can come up with for your consideration. Okay. So that's about CMA. It's very detailed and it provides customers a bit more confidence before they put it on the market. Okay. So do we have any questions from the audience? Okay. We have a bit of technical issue here. It says, why does link kept going off? Okay, I do apologize for that, Karolina. Okay, Steve was asking a question. Are the market value of apartments stable versus pre-COVID time? Okay, with this, whether it's stable or not stable, I would say the last month or two, the rental side is very, very unstable. Okay, with the sales figure, it's not impacted as much because, as what Karolina was explaining, there's shortage of stocks on the market. Okay, but it also comes back to the presentation of your property, the floor plan, the condition of your property. Everything has to be right in order to get a premium price. Okay, so another question from David. Can you share the presentation slides? Yep, you can share that, not a problem. What else? Okay, with the recent monitoring of New South Wales and Victoria removing stamp duty in the news, do you think that it will happen? Okay, with the proposal of stamp duties, it's at this point in time, it's only a proposal. No one knows whether it will be implemented. The government obviously is trying to stimulate the market. Overall, there are a lot of proposals being submitted to the government for their considerations from state level to the federal, and they would have to, I would think that somewhere, somehow, they will be pumping in money to generate more, to generate the economy, okay, to make sure the economy is healthy in the next 12 months. Okay. Okay. Margaret was asking, is there a promotion by real estate for listing currently? Okay, that's a question whereby we'll be ending with this happy note. Karolina, would you like to? I'm just gonna take off my slide. Okay. Okay, back to you, Karolina. So, what's the offer that we are giving to our customers? Oh, you're mute. You're unmute.
Of course, thank you for flagging that. Yes, so just briefly, and then I'll let Adrian to tell more information about this if you're interested. But as Adrian said, the government is obviously trying to stimulate the market by talking about the stamp duty removal. How we as realestate.com.au are doing our part in trying to stimulate the market and help people to list is we are trialing this new product called Pay on Sale Plan, which basically allows you to list on our site with no upfront payment, which is something that we have never done before. So hence this is only a trial product, and Berlin Real Estate is part of this trial with us. So we have actually given them 2 Pay on Sale packages this current quarter. So if you're interested about this option, if this is something that rings the bell, being that this is a good option for me, I don't want to pay upfront for the advertising at realestate.com.au, reach out to Adrian and he will be able to give you more information on the offer.
So can I repeat that again, Karolina? So if I list the property with Jarlene, realestate.com going to give me a free advertising. And if I don't sell, you won't charge me for it.
That's it. So the advertising, sorry, that is my doorbell. The joys of working from home. So yes, so basically there's no upfront payment, and if the property doesn't sell within 12 months, there won't be any payment then. But if the property sells within 12 months, then there is a payment that comes from play once the property is deemed as sold.
So this is something good come out from COVID-19. So there are some.
Absolutely, it's something that, like I said, we've never done anything like this before, and it's a brand new product and brand new way of operating for us as well. So it's quite exciting, and hence we're doing it on a trial basis first. But if you want to be part of the trial, there's 2 spots available with Jarlene Real Estate.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies,
thanks for having me. It was nice to be part of this webinar, and yes, everyone to stay safe wherever you are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So I'll be continuing here to answer some of the questions. Karolina, I hear your doorbell, so thank you very much.
Yep. See you later. Thank you.
So there are a few more questions here. It says that if you guys are still here, how much is the normal advertising fee? Okay, so for realestate.com premium, okay, being the first or second page of the website, it will cost, depends on suburb. They charge suburb by suburb. For example, in the CBD and around the CBD, when there's high traffic flow, it will be somewhere around $2,500 to $3,000. Okay, when it goes out to further out to suburbs that are less traffic, they'll be charging less. Okay. The less, it would be somewhere around $1,005, okay, Aussie dollars per advertisement. So it's a great deal out there. Actually, they've never done this before. It's because of the COVID-19. It's a trial. They would like to also contribute to the whole situation to help out those vendors who are a little bit in a difficult side. You know, could be losing their jobs, could be losing work, and so on and so forth. So that's why they come up with this as a trial. And lucky enough, we are following up with realestate.com very closely, and they offered our customers 2 free advertising, no sale, no pay. Okay. So another questions, please get someone to contact me on the package. Okay, Margaret, thank you very much. I'll come in contact with you. Another question was how can the landlord get capital gain in this situation? Okay, so with capital gain, I hope that when you purchase your property in Australia, it has to be a medium to long-term investment. Okay, in Australia, it's not like Hong Kong or in countries, some part of a big capital city, whereby it goes up very quickly and it comes down very badly as well. Okay, but in Australia, everything is very, very stable. So in order to enjoy capital growth, I would encourage everyone to keep the property 5 to 7 years minimum in order to enjoy the capital growth. Okay, so there's no miracles here, but I can assure you it's a very stable country to invest into, because I've been here for 30 odd years. As long as you buy, keep it for 7 to 10 years, your investment will be, your return will be very, very good. Okay. Okay, there's another question. What is the outlook for sale of apartment? Okay, so apartment traditionally has been very good with rental, right? Everyone knows that the rental market for apartments are higher than the houses. The vacancy rate is lower than the houses. So the benefit of buying apartments, those who invest in apartments, is for a couple of reasons. One, obviously the rental return is good. Number 2 is that it's convenient. Okay, most of the apartments will be surrounded by shops, by transportations, universities, and so on and so forth. So they're buying the convenience, the lifestyle, and the rental return. However, it says that when it comes down to selling, the capital growth of apartment is not as positive as houses, landed properties. Okay, so landed properties is because, you know, freehold land, you own a parcel of land, obviously the land appreciates much better than the building itself. Okay, so I personally buy houses as well as apartments. Personally live in an apartment at the moment. The trend is changing from houses to apartments. A lot of baby boomers, a lot of young professional couples, they prefer to live in apartments. Okay, so the demand is changing towards apartment gradually as well in Australia. Okay. Okay, another question is the presentation CMA, how long does it take to prepare and whether it's free? Yep, the CMA that we prepared, for those who did join us earlier, saw the CMA, it's free of charge. We subscribe to this software and we'll be able to get all those data information to share with you. It's free and it will take us, depends on how busy we are, maybe within an hour if we are not too busy, or a day or two, depends on our schedule. We love to look at the property internally if there's a chance to, but if, as I mentioned, if it's tenanted, it's okay as well. We can do a curbside appraisals before you decide to sell or not to sell. Okay. I think I've surpassed my time here as well. Is there any further questions from the audience? But if you do, please leave your information here. We will try to reply to you as soon as possible. It says connection is not that clear towards the end. Okay, all right. So I better say thank you very much, everyone, again, and please keep on supporting us. Jalin Realty, we have 6 offices, one in Melbourne, one in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, in Singapore, in Jakarta, in Hong Kong, and in Beijing. So our motto is to able to bring Australian properties to you, so that you'll be able to enjoy all the actual data and information rather than coming through a third party and so on. Okay, so thanks again, guys. Thanks for your support, and see you next time. Thank you.